Game number 2 is going to get underway right now, and we're going to see how they've potentially adjusted this match. Neirea needs to put a win on the board to tie this one up, but Greensheep looking for that 2-0 advantage.
You know what? I would love to see Greensheep get a 2-0 advantage here just because I want to see him have an easy round. He's played so many 5-game matches.
Yeah, his have been going the distance a lot, but this one looking like a pretty good matchup for him. Freeze Mage versus Warrior. We've seen this one happen. It seems like every time someone queues up Freeze Mage, they run into Warrior.
Yeah, but this one I think is going to be the Grim Patron Warrior, so at least he won't have to deal cards like Shield Block and Shield Maiden most likely, but that's an Emperor Thorson in Greensheep's opening hand.
Yeah, I mean, we say that he won't have to deal with Shield Blocks and Shield Maidens, but Neirea has had those in his Grim Patron decks. 2 Grim Patrons in the opening hand. Not the worst start in the world, so just going to armor up. A little bit of a slow start here from Greensheep and Neirea. I'm sorry, just a little bit of a slow start from Greensheep, and Neirea's got Mad Scientist to add to this board. Keep going forward here. Fire Warrax is going to check this. It does shred a little bit of armor in the process.
Yeah, again, you want to take damage to your health early if you can. There's nothing he can really avoid it from here, but your armor is the important part.
Wait a minute.
This is Flood Mage, it looks like.
Whoa, this could easily have Echo of Medivh's in it at this point. I mean, early on, this hand looked exactly like Freeze Mage. That's actually one of the beauties of this deck, is that it looks exactly like Freeze Mage until you get one of those clues. But a lot of times, by the time you found that clue, it's too late.
Yeah, you see Greensheep he's going to be armoring up almost every turn because in that matchup, when you're playing against Freeze Mage, that's what you do. That's how you win this match.
Yeah, Neirea is, very likely looking to actually grind Greensheep completely out of this game, deal with every single threat, keep himself protected from these gigantic combo turns,
yeah,
and win the game after that.
We've seen people actually do that here. Not in this matchup. We saw Jab do it to Dog earlier, where he actually just ran his Grim Patron deck out of ways to win.
Yeah, Acolyte of Pain going to soak up 3 damage from this Fiery War Axe. And Greensheep, though, no shortage of ways to add pressure to the board. With 2 Grim Patrons, maybe looking like he feels like he can expend one pretty easily. He's also at 29 too. Taking that 1 point of damage was actually really key for him because Battle Rage is active.
It's really important that he actually takes some damage during the point of the game. You get Battle Rage active, and then anytime you get a heal effect, it's just extra value from you because they're going to Alexstrasza you at some point in time. So that almost doesn't matter. You need a high armor total.
Not Fury Mirror Entity, I don't think either, considering that he's seen the Acolyte of Pain and just understands that this matchup. He thinks the Freeze Mage matchup, it's so much about armor and so much less about pressure.
Well, here's another thing that's important too. In some of the Warrior matchups against Mage, they pressure you. They actually start attacking you with some early minions. Greensheep's not going to do that too much until he has a gigantic turn against you. So, you're not going to be able to get this huge value out of these 2 Molten Giants that are in hand very early.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. It's a big talking point for it. Greensheep going to push for 5 points of damage here. When he sees the Doomsayer, I think it's almost cementing in his mind that this is something like Freeze Mage as well. But Neirea, I mean, that's a big curveball potentially thrown. Greensheep's going to have to actually get some pressure going too, because Neirea's hand's getting a little bit scary. He's already got Archmage Antonidas. He's going to be able to draw plenty more cards. He's got his life total a little bit protected, even considering fireballing to shred this armor off. Wow. That's also, some of this to account for his hand size control as well.
He had to alleviate the pressure of the amount of cards that he had in his hand here.
Yeah, Greensheep kind of taking a second look at this one. Why would he fireball me right now?
That's something you don't expect in the situation from any player, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to swing and take out the Loot Hoarder. Wants to keep his Emperor as protected as possible. And Neirea, since he just used Fireball, going to have to use something else to invest in this if he wants to take care of this Emperor Thorson. But with Blood Mage and Frostbolt, he's got an easy way to do it.
Yeah, Blood Mage going to help out a lot here. Frostbolt and Hero Power take care of this Emperor Thorson. You cannot let that sit around. Both these decks lean on Emperor Thorson very hard.
Yeah, I mean, Greensheep's already got the value he needs from it so far in this match, but just plenty of ways to continue to add aggression to this board. This looks like a Grim Patron turn to me, a pretty darn easy one. And then is he going to Battle Rage afterwards? I mean, is he hunting for more value from that Battle Rage potentially?
I mean, you get 2 cards out of here. I believe he's going to do it because he's still looking for Warsong Commander to get those gigantic turns to really finish off Neirea. Warsong Commander is so important in this matchup.
Yeah, going to hold on to his Whirlwinds too. I mean, with 2 Frothing Berserkers in hand, just like you mentioned, if he finds Warsong Commander with that and couples enough Whirlwind effects, that's the big damage burst that he's looking for. And Neirea does have to handle what's going on right now. He can't just ignore these 2 Grim Patrons forever.
No, absolutely not. You're going to see Greensheep try to get Neirea down as low as possible, pop that shield, keep him around the 1 and 2 health range, to where every turn after that, Neirea has to answer everything that Greensheep does. Now, Greensheep is running low on weapons, though, and that's one of his best ways to finish the game off after popping ice blocks. Yeah,
because Neirea is going to have trouble keeping Greensheep frozen the entire time. There's an Emperor Thaurissan from Neirea now, and both of these
super
hands
important as well.
Starting to really develop.
A lot of tension building here. There's I think the last weapon in his deck. I think it's the second Fiery War Axe that we've seen. The other Death Spite is in his hand right now. One of those really important to keep because he needs some form of charge and burst damage late in the game to really finish Neirea off.
Yeah, we're going to see if he sets up this Death Spite here, if he sets up the Fiery War Axe and starts swinging away. And with both the weapons in his hand and still a lot of time to go to find those endgame bursts.
Oh yeah, he knows this is going to take a while.
Yeah, so I like that he's actually using the Fiery War Axe here first. Important to get every point of value that he can possibly get.
Hard to pass up Emperor Thaurissan on this turn.
There's no way you can pass it up on this turn. I mean, you get 9 cards in your hand, and one of them is the coin, of course. But you have Archmage Antonidas, you have Ice Lance with it, you have Frost Novas with it. This is really the turn he was looking for to continue to scale into this late game, of this late stages of the game.
Well, Greensheep just picked up an Acolyte of Pain. This allows him to whirlwinds for some real value this turn because he gets to execute the Emperor and get another card off it. Still searching for one of those Warsong commanders.
Yeah, and Neirea's already also used a Doomsayer too, so unless he picks up something like a second Doomsayer or like a Flame Strike, this board pressure is starting to really build against him.
Now, do you think Greensheep is like taking a second to think about maybe Duplicate here?
No, I don't think Duplicate is on his mind whatsoever.
Because we did see it earlier tonight.
We definitely did see it. I think what he's more thinking about is whether or not he should use an Execute or actually use his face and the 3/1 Grim Patron in his spot. And I like that he's using the Executes. Again, not a ton of targets in this deck.
Yeah, not a ton of targets. You know, you could pick off something like Alexstrasza or Archmage Antonidas, but you have a gigantic board and you need to push for pressure as much as possible. Plus, you already have the second Execute.
Yeah, and then Armor Smith's going to get added to this board. In the face of Flame Strike, will pick up a ton of armor as well. You know, I still fully believe that Greensheep thinks that he's fighting a Freeze Mage battle here, and he has no reason to believe otherwise so far.
You know, you never know. This might just be a different version of a Freeze Mage deck that just has Molten Giants in it. We've seen some weird Molten Giant Mage decks before in the past. This isn't something that's out of the realm of possibility of it just being some random, you know, control deck that Neirea's come up with, like mismashing 2 decks together.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. Going to trade in his coin here for another Fireball. And then considering adding Acolyte of Pain to the board, he doesn't want his opponent to be able to burn cards from him. I think that's really what he's thinking about.
No, yeah, he's already got enough cards in his hand. Oh,
geez. Things are about to get very scary.
You're going to see this Death Spike get into play very quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, this is extremely scary for Neirea, and Greensheep understands the power of Archmage Antonidas as well, has to deal with this. I mean, the second Execute's such a blessing for him, but now this board pressure, this is looking really scary for Neirea.
He's got 2 Frothing Berserkers in his hand along with this Warsong Commander. He can deal a ton of damage over the next turns.
She's gonna just pass, not really much else to do.
Oh,
Flame
big
Strike.
draw here for Neirea.
Such an important one, too. I mean, this board got left as it was. He was about to face off against the world with
I like him trading this in for a card as well here.
Yeah, get some more information. Also, I mean, there's a chance he doesn't Flame Strike this turn.
Yeah, he could just Frost Nova, hoping, you know, Greensheep. Well, here's the thing. He might actually Frost Nova here, thinking Greensheep's going to get aggressive and really push on the next turn because he set up a Death Spite, but can he take all this damage?
Well, I don't know. It's both ways I see it. You know, he's got Alexstrasza in his hand, so that's something he wants to get on the board right away. He has seen 2 Executes, so
yeah, he's seen both Executes. That's a really good point as well.
Unlikely to be completely checked this turn, but Greensheep going to have everything in his corner to really try to take control of his board. But Neirea holding on to the Flame Strike here. He can go down to 1 and then Flame Strike, but then can he fend off the rest of this pressure? I think with the Ice Barrier in his hand, he's a little bit protected from weapons right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, how is Greensheep going to navigate this turn going forward? Because he has to answer this Alexstrasza. You know, he's going to couple it with Slam. You know, Warsong Commander's going to come out. Neirea's going to get a ton of value off this Flame Strike.
I think step number 1 is probably figuring out where your trades need to be, because he's got to kill this Alexstrasza. He cannot let this just swing at his face. And the trade's actually, I think, a little bit favorable. Unless he doesn't want to use a Death Spite. I mean, there's a possibility he wants to keep it around post-Ice Block to make sure that he has a threat on the Neirea. Definitely a possibility. Going to trade in the first Grim Patron here. Wants some space on his board as well. And there's the swing. So this is going to fill up Greensheep's board, and this is going to be more than enough damage to pop this Ice Block. It's going to be a big matter of whether or not Neirea can fight through that potential. And also, these animations have to finish, too. We've seen a couple players have a little bit of trouble with this.
Yeah, this is something that has come up in the past. You actually have to get through all the animations and queue up all of your attacks quickly. It looks like Greensheep is doing it as we speak right now, though. He's probably got everything in. You already saw the armor up, so he's got his whole turn planned ahead of him.
Yeah, I think so as well. And this, once again, the Frothing Berserker just so large in this spot. Sets him down
gets
to
him
3.
to even sequences it correctly here.
Yeah. And now, Neirea, though, he's got to feel very good about this turn. He's got double Molten Giant, Flame Strike to clear this out, Ice Block to back it up.
Yeah, Greensheep's going to be a little surprised here by this turn, I believe.
Yeah, how could you not be also? I mean, you've played the whole game thinking it's Freeze Mage, and so far it has been, but here come Molten Giants, and this is bad
yeah,
news.
You see, look at Greensheep sit back in his chair.
Wow, he's like going, what on earth just happened? Flame Strike going to kill this entire board as well. Maybe Neirea's second guessing this though. I mean, he could also just use Frost Nova, use Ice Block, set Ice Barrier, Fireball. I mean, he's got all the pressure on his side of the board right now.
Yeah, maybe he's like worrying somehow that he might lose his Molten Giants.
If he's
next
pinging
turn.
here, he for sure is Frostbolting. Wants the board to completely
this is awesome play too,
yeah.
because it fills up Greensheep's board. He's not gonna be able to develop anything going forward, so he can't die from any crazy shenanigans or lose his Molten Giants to any kind of minion centric.
Yep. And even the Fireball being added to shred off this armor. He's now protected from Shield Slam as well. Greensheep
dead.
cannot make a play this turn, and this game just ended. What a turnaround.
Wow, what a game from Neirea. I love the misinformation game from Neirea. I love when you can play a game like another deck, show them all the cards that are also in that deck, and then you know what? Got him at the end of it. You got him with the hook, brings in the Molten Giants.
Yeah, if you ain't gonna get them, they ain't gonna get got. And Neirea definitely got Greensheep.
No truer words have ever been spoken.
Just what a beautiful game from him to put maximum pressure on Greensheep. Just absolutely outstanding stuff. These are one of the most dangerous spots, I think, for players in HPL 2 is when players bring a strategy that looks like something else and then have the ability to mix that up from game to game. How do you actually adjust to something like that?